Oh my. The princeling lamb has awoken. Good morrow, my dear boy. I was beginning to worry you would never wake up. What a predicament that would have placed me in. I need you alive, my lord. I can't have you giving out on me just yet. We've still so much to do together, you and I. Acquiring you was only the first of many steps. Ah yes, the chains. I'm terribly sorry about those, my boy. It's a force of habit, you see. Sometimes, occasionally really, you never know what someone is truly capable of, especially in their sleep. I could tell you stories you wouldn't believe, of sweet little things like you suddenly mutating into malleous monstrosities in the dead of night. Sometimes even the chains can't hold them down. I have other means of containing such creatures, but let's not worry about that for now. By the way, while we're down here, I recommend keeping your voice low, dear boy. Those creatures I mentioned, their hearing can be quite keen, and if they hear the weeping and wailing of such a juicy little lamb as yourself, why, not even my beast asylum may be able to restrain them from their coveted prey. But even in the worst case, my lord, I will look after you. That's right, little prince. I know it's come as a bit of a shock to you, but you're actually entirely safe here with me. I'd even argue you're safer than when you were up there, among your so-called subjects. But I prattle, and I babble, and I ramble, and yet you are practically buried in all those chains meanwhile. Please, allow me, my dear little lambling lord. There you are, Prince. Much better, right? Oh my. So eager to leave. You wound me, my prince. I've gone to the trouble of watching over you inside the best room of my entire haven to make sure you awakened most comfortably. Surely you wouldn't abandon such a gracious host so soon, would you? Please calm down, sire. I told you, didn't I? You're safe as can be. Nothing can hurt you now. Not if you're good. Maybe you aren't willing to give me a choice. Maybe you'd like me to employ alternative methods in convincing you to remain where you are safest and most well attended to. I have no problem fixing the chains back on you if this is how you're going to be, my prince. Good. That's a good lamb. Then, in that case, do seat yourself where you are most comfortable. That high-backed lounge chair near the fireplace is my absolute favorite. Could you guess? Go on, Prince. Sit. Now. Yes, there you are. Do get comfortable. Let your bones thaw in the heat of the flames, my boy. You're probably quite thirsty, I imagine. Hungry, too. My servants will prepare you your meals from now on, but even I can do something as simple as fetching you some water. There you are. My boy, don't kid yourself. You think I would go through all this trouble just to poison your water now? I might be a little eccentric, sure, but I'm not deranged. Drink. You must be hydrated at all times. Now, allow me to formally welcome you to my haven, Prince. You sit within my drawing room. Isn't it elegant? These floors are pure mahogany, as is the paneling on the walls. I wonder, if you had the pleasure of stepping into this room through one of the doorways for the first time, what would catch your eye first? The grand fireplace, painting the room in a passionate orange red, the many bookcases, containing only a mere fraction of the net knowledge I preserve, or perhaps the fine art I have upon display. Look at this bust of the beautiful Saint Caterina. It's one of my prized possessions. I won't tell you how much it's worth. I'd rather you think it priceless, as I do. Would you believe me if I told you I had actually met Saint Caterina? Yes, in the flesh. It was actually before I turned, funnily enough. I'm not sure we would have parted so amicably if I had been, as I am now, upon our first meeting. I was a mere altar boy when she had come to visit the church one morning, under the pretense of a country-wide pilgrimage. Unbeknownst to the priesthood of that particular church, Saint Caterina had long caught on to the stench of their corruption. The priesthood had been reallocating the offerings from the common folk, defaulting on their holy tithes to the clergy in favor of whores and gambling. And wine, naturally. I'd known about the priesthood's debauchery, but feigned ignorance whenever the inquisitors paid a visit. I didn't see a coin of it anyway. Saint Caterina requisitioned whatever wealth remained of them, and gave it right back to the people before disbanding the church I was a part of. She looked me square in the eyes, dear boy, and you know what she said? You are destined for much greater than this. Immediately my life changed, but perhaps not in the way the holy Saint Caterina might have meant for. I've always had a soft spot for her because of that moment. I might abhor the church for all their decadent praise of light and life and the bounty of nature and all this sing-song garbage about being right in all aspects. It makes me want to gag. But among all the fanatics and the sycophants, there are worthy champions who owe their faith to the so-called good gods. And Saint Katerina is certainly a worthy champion. They say her beauty could never be captured. But this bust has done it. So mind your reach around such a treasure. Understand, Prince? But, speaking of irreplicable beauty, you, my boy, you're quite a lovely thing. So sweet and supple. You certainly have the look of a prince. But if you ask me, my lord, I don't think your heart is in it to rule. You'd rather not worry about maintaining order over an entire kingdom, isn't it so? You don't have to say anything at all, dear boy. Your eyes tell me everything I need to know. It's not for you, is it? Life on the throne. People think it's all the rage to be a ruler, but I can tell you, I've spoken to more than my fair share of rulers. Do you want to know the ugly truth, my boy? When you're at the top, you'd think everyone would be made to serve you. But the fact is, my lord, the crown is just a gilded shackle, fettering you to a life of slavery to your own domain. And no matter how just you think you are, no matter how righteous you believe to be, by virtue of this god or another, your people will never be satisfied. They will search and study your every movement with obsessive deliberation, hunting like hawks for any reason to think you unfit to rule them. And other states, the other kings and queens of Ordania, and beyond, they'll be watching you too. You'll have to cover every soft spot, every crack in your constructions, both physical and mental. That's not even to mention the many other things which lurk in the shadows of these lands. Things like me, perhaps, but not quite so civilized. So to you, my dearest little lamb, I offer an accord. I can give you refuge from such horrid, unending servitude for a more relaxing lifestyle. And no less decadent, mind you. My family, we are rather well endowed when held in comparison to the other families of my kindred. You'd never have to work another day, another moment even. Whatever you require, dear boy, I shall provide. I would only need a small offering from you, from time to time. I've got to eat too, you know. Well, you should take some time to consider it. It's a very generous offer in your favor, Prince. I would take extreme measures to ensure that your every need is fulfilled. But there's no need to rush into the decision. After all, you haven't even experienced the joys of being fed upon. Yes, the joys, I said. Hark now, Prince, if you expected a horror show, then you too are still clinging to those children's stories, just like your little toy soldier. Yes, he's been on your mind, hasn't he? Your knight in shining armor, stone me. I can't say yours is the worst taste I've known. Perhaps you'll see him again someday, my sweet little lamb. But know this. It will be under my direct supervision. And by then, he might not be quite the same as you remembered him. Now then, I must apologize, but I've held back for as long as I can. The process of fetching and retrieving you has left me feeling rather parched. I hope you don't mind, my lord, if I volunteer you to assist me with this. It'll be a good opportunity to experience what it's like to have an apex specimen such as myself drawing strength from your veins. You can't run, little lamb, remember? There's nothing to run from. You're perfectly safe, I promise. I'm not going to hurt you. You're just going to feel blissfully sleepy when I'm through. No pain, no discomfort. I can draw up a contractual promise if you like. My penmanship is as swift as my spell weaving. That's it. That's a good boy. Good little lamb. Now, you may lie back if you're more comfortable that way. It's important you manage your breathing, and thus your heart rate. Get too excited, and I may take more than I bargained for. There. That's it. Close your eyes. Settle in. Make sure you're quite cozy. Now, simply breathe. I'm going to draw from right here, along your neck. Please do not squirm or recoil. I don't want to hurt you. You'll feel a small pinch at most, and then complete tranquility. You might like it more than you think, Prince. So relax, and I will feed. Exquisite, extraordinary, marvelous, magnificent. Oh, Why must all these words fail so flatly to express the nectar, the sweet, sweet nectar of your body, my lord? You are unlike anything I've ever tasted before. And now, you're all mine. Oh, I see it in your eyes, my little lamb. You're beginning to feel it. That warming glow, the unwavering ease, like mountain rapids of unending euphoria. Let yourself succumb to it, my lord. There is no need to fight against it. This is the joy that awaits your every day here in my haven. But I can see you're beginning to fade. Soon, my words will be lost on you. Sleep now, my dear little lamb. I'll be sure you awaken to the aroma of fresh food and flowing drink. We have water, of course, but we also have more indulgent beverages available, if it pleases my lord. You just look so sweet. Sweet enough to eat. Good night, my lamb.